Good morning to everyone. I am Uma Rani from EC department. This semester I am handling E8451 linear integrated circuits and its application for second year triple E fourth sem students. So in first unit IC fabrication. So here we are going to discuss about introduction. So why we go for silicon, the purity of silicon, growing process, fabrication process, thermal oxidization, etching techniques, diffusion, and then expression for diffusion of dopant, concentration ion implantation, photomask generation, photolithography, epitaxial growth. The next, metallization and interconnections, ohmic contacts planar, PN junction diode fabrication. The last one is fabrication of resistor and capacitor in ICs. So here, what are the steps involved in IC fabrication? So these are the steps involved in IC fabrication. So what are the steps means? So first one is fabrication process, thermal oxidization, etching techniques, diffusion, expression for diffusion of dopant, concentration of ion implantation, photomask generation, photolithography, epitaxial growth. These are the steps involved in IC fabrications. So the remaining topics are subtopics in first unit. So before that, so we should know that what does mean by conductor, insulator, semiconductor. So these topics are already we studied in electron devices paper. So what is the operation of conductor? So conductor, it conducts the current. So the example for conductor is aluminium, copper. So insulator means it does not conduct the current. So the example is glass and wood. The next is semiconductor. Semiconductor is partially conducted current. So it means either it act as a conductor or insulator. So the example for semiconductor is silicon and germanium. So in this slide, so the micro miniaturization of electronic circuits and systems, and then concomitant application to computers and communications represents major invocation of the 12th century. So these have lead to the introduction of new application that were not possible with discrete device. So the next is integrated circuits on a single silicon wafer, followed by the increase of size of the wafer to accommodate many more such circuits serve to significantly reduce the cost while increasing the reliability of these circuits. So before that, we should know what is conduction band and what is meant by valence band. So already we studied the operation of copper, conductor, insulator, semiconductor in electron devices by means of energy diagrams. So what does mean by energy diagram means? So the movements of electrons and holes from conduction band to valence band. So the energy gap between the valence band and conduction band is nothing but forbidden energy gap. So in the conductor, the forbidden energy gap is overlapping. That is, there is no gap between the conduction band and valence band. It is overlapping. Next, insulator, there is a large energy gap between the conduction band and valence band. So whereas semiconductor, there is a moderate energy gap between the conduction band and valence band. These are the energy band operation of conductor, insulator and semiconductor. So the next is semiconductor device are two form. One is discrete unit, the next one is integrated units. Discrete units can be diode, transistor, etc. The next is integrated circuits. So here uses these discrete units to make one device. Integrated circuits can be of two form. So the next is monolithic. So in this case, transistors, diodes, resistors are fabricated and interconnected on the same chip. So in the case of hybrid, these circuits elements are discrete form and another's are connected on the chip with the discrete elements externally to those formed on the chip. Whereas in the case of monolithic, so the elements are fabricated and integrated on the same chip. So this slide shows the two semiconductors, that is germanium and gallium arsenide, present special problems with silicon has certain specific advantage not available with others. The next point, the major advantage of silicon is in addition to its abundant availability in the form of sand is that is possible to form a superior stable oxide, silicon dioxide, which has super insulating properties. Gallium arsenide crystal have a very high density of crystal defects which limit the performance of the device. So compound semiconductors such as gallium arsenide in contrast to elemental semiconductors such as silicon and germanium, so much more difficult to grow in single crystal form. The next, both silicon and germanium do not suffer in the processing steps from possible decomposition that may occur in compound semiconductor such as gallium arsenide. So lastly, so at the present time, silicon remains the major semiconductor in the industry. The next is purity of silicon. So before we should know that what does mean by intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor. So intrinsic semiconductor means the purest form of semiconductor is nothing but intrinsic semiconductor. Whereas extrinsic semiconductor means we are adding some impurities to the semiconductor. So that is called extrinsic semiconductor. So the adding of impurities. So the adding of impurities is called doping. So here the starting from a silicon which manufactures of device and integrated circuit used in a circular slice known as a wafer. The next, the wafer diameters vary from 10 to 20 centimeters with maximum up to 30 centimeters. Silicon is found in abundance in nature as an oxide in sand and quartz. Silicon must be in crystal form. Next, silicon is very pure. Next, free of defects and uncontaminated. So crystal form is very pure. Already I specified pure form of silicon, that is pure form of semiconductor is nothing but intrinsic semiconductor. So here we are not adding any impurities to the semiconductor, right? So this is a first step in IC fabrication, that is fabrication process. So here, so what does mean by oxidization? So oxidization is a process consists of growing a thin film of silicon diodes on the surface of the silicon wafer. The next process is diffusion. So this process consists of the introduction of a few 10 to several micrometers of impurities by the solid state diffusion of dopants into selected regions of the wafer to form a junction. The next is ion implantation. So the third process is ion implantation. So this is a process of introducing dopants into selected area of the surface of the wafer by bombarding the surface with high energy ions of the particular dopant. The next is photolithography. So photolithography means, so the image on the silicon is transferred to the surface of the wafer. The next step is epitaxy. Epitaxy means is a process of the controlled growth of the crystalline doped layer of silicon, a single crystal substrate. The last step is metallization and interconnection of silicon. So after all semiconductor fabrication steps of a device of an integrated circuit are completed, it becomes necessary to provide to metallic interconnector for the 17 integrated circuit for external connections to both the device and the IC. The next is etching technique. So this is also one steps involved in IC fabrication. So what does mean by etching? So etching is a process of selective removal of regions of a semiconductor metal or silicon dioxide. It means it remove the particular portion of the semiconductor, right? So there are two types of etching. So etching we have two types. One is wet etching, the next one is dry etching. So in wet etching, the wafers are immersed in a chemical solution at a predetermined temperature. Whereas dry etching means material to be etched removed equally in all directions. These electrodes gain kinetic energy from the field, collide with the transfer energy to the gas molecules, which results in generating ions and electrons. So the newly generated electrons collide with other gas molecules and the avalanche process continues through the gas, forming a plasma. The wafer to be etched is placed on an electrode and is subjected to the bombardment of its surface by the gas ions. As a result, atoms at or near the surface to be etched or removed by the transfer of momentum from the ions to the atoms. The next is ion implantation. So here the first step of ion implantation is to generate ions such as those of phosphorus and arc discharges made to occur in a gas such as phosphine pH3 that is contained as dopant. The ions are then accelerated in an electric field so that they acquire in energy of about 20 kilo electron volt. So this is a unit of energy band, right? So and are passed through a strong magnetic field because during the arc discharge unwanted impurities may have been generated. So the magnetic field acts to separate these impurities from the dopant ions based on the fact that the amount of deflection of particle in magnetic field depends on its mass. The next is following the action of the magnetic field, the ions are further accelerated so that the energy reaches several hundred kilo electron volt, whereupon they are forced on the strike and surface of the silicon. The next is advantage of ion implantation. So the first point of advantage is doping levels can be precisely controlled since the incident ion beam can be accurately measured as an electric current. The next point is the depth of the dopant can be easily regulated by the control of incident ion velocity. It is capable of very shallow penetrations. The next point is extreme purity of the dopants is guaranteed. The fourth point is the doping uniformity across the surface can be accurately controlled because the ions enter the solid as a directed beam. There is a very little spread of the beam. Thus, the doping area can be clearly defined. So, the last one is since it is a low temperature process, the movement of impurities is minimized. Next is photolithography. So this is also one steps involved in IC fabrication. So here, so the wafer is backed at 100 degrees Celsius to solidify the resist on the wafer. The silicon is placed on the wafer and aligned by the computer control. The reticle is exposed to ultraviolet light with the transparent parts of the reticle passing through the light onto the wafer. The photoresist under the opaque region of the reticle is unaffected. The exposed photoresist is chemically removed by dissolving in the organic solvent and exposing the silicon dioxide underneath. This is a process very simpler to that used in developing photographic film. The next is the exposed silicon dioxide is then etched away from the hydrofluoric acid, which dissolves silicon dioxide and not silicon. So the regions under the part of the reticle are still covered by the silicon dioxide and the photoresist. The photoresist under the opaque region of the reticle is stripped using a proper solvent and the silicon dioxide is exposed. So this slide shows the epitaxial growth. So this is the last step in IC fabrication. So epitaxy is used to deposit N and N plus silicon, which is impossible to accomplish by diffusion. So already we studied the what is the function of diffusion. So here we are using the diffusion by means of epitaxial growth. So it is also used in isolation between bipolar transistor wherein N is deposited on P. We list below and with reference to the figure. The sequence of operation involved in the process. So here heat wafer to 1200 degree Celsius. Next is turn on H2 to reduce the silicon dioxide on the wafer surface. The third point is turn on alcohols HCl to vapor etch the surface of the wafer. So this removes a small amount of silicon and other contaminants. Turn off HCl. Drop temperature to 1100 degree Celsius. Turn on silicon terachloride. The last is we introduce the dopant. Thank you.